is the best time for me to make this video because as I'm recording this, there are lootings taking place in Minneapolis, and there are people on social media trying to justify those lootings by saying that this is what happens when we feel victimized and you shouldn't be worried about people's properties. You shouldn't be worried about this. You should be valuing everyone's human life. So what if people are stealing things? So what if people are burning things down? That doesn't outweigh the cost of human life. And while I agree with that, that doesn't give you the fucking right to break into people's buildings and steal their shit. I agree. Human life up here, property down here, but that still doesn't give you the right to use your human life and take from other people. That doesn't give you the right to burn other people's shit down. That doesn't give you the right to walk up into a store and steal everything out of it, and then while you're recorded doing that, you scream Black Lives Matter because you think that's an easy way for you to get away with that shit. But for some reason, there's a select group of people, and I'm specifically talking to this select group, not the people who are trying to peacefully protest, not the people who are trying to put out a good message, the people who always want to bitch and always want to complain about not being heard, but they never want to take the time to listen. They never want to understand anyone's point. They never want to understand how people feel. They never want to see a different perspective. They always want the focal point to be on them, and this video is for you stupid motherfuckers. The example I'm going to bring to you is the Stop Asian Hate Crime hashtag that was going around for about a week and then died because everybody stopped caring about it because white people weren't the ones attacking people. The Asian community has never stood by the black community. Just stay quiet like they do to us. I hate that we go to lengths to defend others. This brain dead human being and the 34,000 people that like this and agreed with it are going around insinuating that just because some people didn't stand with you in these Black Lives Matter protests and these riots, that we should not care about anyone who's suffering at the moment. That any individual that was getting their ass handed to them, we must do a back catalog and see if they were at any protest. We must search their history to see if they posted anything about Black Lives Matter, because that's the only way we'll give a damn about them. That's the only way we will take the time to understand what they're going through. That's the only way we'll consider their feelings and consider if they're worthy of being helped. Do you know how fucking stupid that sounds? Do you know how brain dead that logic is? Do you know that that's not helping create that unity that everyone keeps seemingly bitching about every day on Twitter? It's creating that divide and creating a more wider gap between everybody actually understanding one another and actually helping each other in situations. And to sit there and generalize an entire community of people over some select people that didn't bother posting anything, didn't bother going to protest, is idiotic, considering the fact that there were many people of Asian communities going out and helping with protest, helping with the movement, going out of their way to spread a message that, hey, Black Lives Matter. And say what you want about the movement, the organization, we can agree that Black Lives Matter. I know that everyone's bitching about the one chick who bought those homes because, oh, where did she get that money from? But fuck that. Actually pay attention to the words. Yes, Black Lives Matter. Yes, all lives matter. There shouldn't be a disconnect there, but people view it as a disconnect, and there should be a conversation to be had so that people can understand one another. But instead, we have all these people gatekeeping whether we should be paying attention, whether we should be caring, whether we should be putting our necks out for them just because, oh, we don't know if they did it for us. Why everybody always want us to be the bigger people, and on top of that, why do I see black people in the comments talking about this energy not gonna get us nowhere? Y'all coons for real. They're not coons. They're actually recognizing that this way of thinking isn't going to get us anywhere. It's not going to help the black community. It's not going to help the Asian community. It's going to further create more problems in the future between the two communities, while they're both seemingly having an issue with white people and white people only. And on top of that, they seem to forget how a lot of the Asian community still turns their nose up at us and watch us like hawks in their stores. But we gotta forget all of that and be peaceful, unhealed, broken folk. No, you don't. If there's some situations going on pertaining to some people following you in stores or people harassing you, call them out. Call them out specifically. Don't chastise and generalize an entire community, especially if people in that community are taking the time to help you, to get your message out there, to care about you. And I'm not sitting here saying if you do one thing, you should be expecting a return of favor. I'm saying, if you're seeing some fucked up shit and you know it's fucked up, how about instead of getting on your high horse acting as if I will not help anyone here because none of you helped me and I feel victimized by the fact that all of you were following me in these stores while I was probably stealing something considering what's going on in Minneapolis right now, and so I will not consider helping any of you. You're on your own. I am black. I am a victim. That way of thinking is fucking idiotic. It's never going to get you anywhere. And for people to see this tweet and then comment under it agreeing with it and calling other people who think differently from that and saying that it doesn't help the cause coons, you're ignorant to what the fuck is actually the bigger picture, which is this unity that you people have been bitching about for the past year. You were all excited about all these different protests taking all over the world. You do realize that that wasn't specifically only black people, right? You had other nationalities, ethnicities, skin colors, however the fuck you want to determine it, on your side. You had people in other countries on your side, but seemingly they don't count because they don't fit the skin description. At least some people saw this and were pushing back on it. It's sad because y'all are generalizing Asians as a whole like this, like there were no Asians walking in those BLM riots for black people. Like I just said, you had all these different nationalities caring, taking time out of their day to march in the streets for you because they believe that they're doing a good thing, fighting for respect for black people, fighting for some form of justice in many situations that people view are unjust. It's very fucking easy to sit there and think that it's only black people out there if you're not taking the time to see that there are thousands, maybe even millions, if I'm going to stretch that number, that are actually taking the time to care about this enough to protest with you, not against you. This mindset ain't getting us no fucking where. We're too grown to think like this. And some dumbass responded with how if black oppression been going on for years and nobody give a fuck, but when other ethnicities, cultures is having issues, we gotta go support that. Fuck that. No one's saying everybody should support something. They're saying this way of thinking that you're doing, this way of, oh, we're not gonna help because this one person didn't help us, so fuck their entire community. That's a dumb way of thinking about this. Can you imagine in the reverse if people were going to sit there and say, I got robbed by a couple of black teenagers, so I don't care about these black people's lives. Or, oh, this black person robbed me while I was in the store. Or, oh, this black woman smacked me in the face. I don't think I care about black people anymore. You know fucking well that each and every one of you that likes to bitch about being heard but doesn't take the time to listen, you know you'd be pissed off at that. You know you'd hate being generalized like that. So if that is your case, if you hate being generalized, don't fucking generalize anyone else. Point blank, period. And to wrap up this video, I want to address the looting that is taking place because this interesting human being had some nice choice words to say about all of this. Loot and burn everything. Fuck this. Who the fuck cares about looting? Stop killing us. Yeah, if it weren't for looting, black people would be free already. At this point, this country should be thankful black people haven't already burned this shit to the fucking ground. Congratulations, angry black lady. You're a helpful cause to the situation. You are somebody that I can trust that could actually bring peaceful dialect to a certain situation. You are a fucking epitome of the stupidity that I talk about. And it's just funny how people like this are always for looting. They're always for people saying, yeah, rob that store, burn that building down, fuck America, all that shit. But isn't it interesting how the minute the looters turn on you and they come to your property and they steal everything from you, you're mad. You're wanting to call the police. You're sitting there saying, oh my God, why would you all do this? I don't condone looting. No, you do condone looting. You just don't like it when people loot you, which is the entire point to why I'm against looting. Because every single person who advocates for this, who cheers it on, who doesn't disavow it, does not want to have that shit happen to them. They will not join a protest if it's outside their neighborhood. They will not join in on the fun of burning someone's car if it's their car. And so to end this video, how about instead of one, generalizing every single person that you see, you instead take the time to hear what people have to say instead of bitching about not being heard. And again, I'm not generalizing all of these Black Lives Matter protests. I'm not talking about the peaceful protesters. I'm not talking about the people who are trying to get a good message out there. I'm specifically speaking to the asshats who like to bitch all the time about not being heard and like to say we're not going to help anyone else because no one helped us and we don't want to listen to your problems about being heard. I'm specifically talking to you. Shut the fuck up. you make shit abundantly worse. You make things worse than it could ever possibly be, and there's no chance of it getting better if you were running the show. And number two, to all of the people who like to advocate for looting, let me ask you a quick question, and I'll end the video right after. Can I come rob you? Subscribe to the channel, like the video. I'll see you in the next time. Goodbye.